Blender has many great add-ons that will improve your workflow by providing efficiency, consistency in some areas, and speeding up the whole process. But what about the external tools? Please stick around while I show you which ones are my preferred devices to work on Blender. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, I'm Nemesis from Ngo85. Welcome to my channel. This video is a bit different than the rest in the channel, as instead of talking about sculpting itself, I wanted instead to talk to you about the devices I use to improve my efficiency in Blender. I will be covering the 4 external devices that I use the most. The last one is my favorite, and because I do not like when things are just left to the very end without knowing what it is, I'm talking about the PlayStation Navigation Controller. Let's take a closer look to these devices. The first device I'll talk about is the Wacom Cintiq 22. As you may know, Wacom is a top brand of art-dedicated digital tablets in the market, with a great line of products. This is my 4th tablet. First, I had an Intuos Pro, which was great, but when I found out about being able to work on screen, I fell in love with the first Wacom 22. And this was my 2nd tablet. At this point, I was not working with 3D art, but just 2D drawings and photography. I live in Poland, and because I was leaving the country, I sold my tablet and bought a Wacom Cintiq G13, but it was way too small and I ended up coming back to the bigger size, this time with a new Wacom Cintiq 22. This is a very reliable product with great quality, but too expensive. Gladly, there are other brands out there delivering similar results for a lower price. We all know what these tablets can do, so I will not get to specifics, but move to the next device. Just an amazing tool that I have been using for the past 7 or 8 years. The Logitech G13 is a device designed for gamers with 29 fully customizable buttons and the option to save different profiles that can be tailored according to the application. The usage in Blender is pretty straightforward as with the other devices, by saving keyboard shortcuts allowing you to be more efficient while working. This device has a dedicated software by Logitech that allows you to easily customize your keys, save, import and export your profiles, apply macros and even store text to be pasted at a single press of a button. I believe you should get to know your program's hotkeys and, more important, use them, but being able to store them in keys that are easily accessible and in a more ergonomic way makes a world of a difference, which is why I recommend having a tool like this one. It does not need to be the same, as I have seen other game boards for a lower price offering similar features. Now let's get to the next device. When I'm not using my stylus, the Logitech MX Master 3S is definitely my go-to. The great thing about this mouse is how much you can customize it. For instance, I have my undo and redo buttons set, as well as my tab key so I can navigate to the different modes within Blender. I can also, apart from the normal zoom in and out, I'm able to pan by having the shift key assigned to this hidden button. Another great feature of this mouse are the gestures. For example, I can press the middle button and move the mouse up to bring my add panel, which is accessed with the Alt-A combination. Or I can press and drag back the mouse to access the apply menu and so on. Apart from this, the ergonomic shape of the mouse is a big plus. Same as with the game board, this mouse has a user-friendly software, really easy to use with a range of different options, and it also allows you to add different applications, so every customization will depend on the app currently being used. Just imagine the possibilities. Now guys, this one right here is hands down my favorite device to use in combination with Blender, a Sony navigation controller. After watching a video about a Japanese mangaka using a controller with the frequently used hotkeys to speed up his workflow, I fell in love with this idea and started looking for something similar. You may say, but Wacom has its own controller. Yes, you're right, and I unfortunately own one of them. And I say unfortunately because I could have saved the $100 I spent knowing that it was not gonna be what I expected. But silly me because not checking more reviews. My issue with this controller is that it's not comfortable to the hands. If you have small hands like me, the shape makes it hard to reach some of the buttons, plus the layout is not the easiest to remember and does not feel natural. I believe that to prove my point, we just need to see how the Pro versions of the Cintiq tablets have built-in magnets so you can place the controller on the bezel of the tablet and use it from there. Anyways, back to the start of the show. While looking for options, I found the Clip Studio controller, but I could not find any in Poland and I was not in the mood of waiting for shipping. So I came across with this video on YouTube and I just say, bingo! I found my solution. The Sony navigation controller. This device is just great to use for sculpting in Blender for different reasons. It sits comfortably in your hands. It gives you 14 programmable keys. Because of the layout and shape, you will become fluent at using this in no time. Due to the size, design and lightweight, you can hold it and just move your arm wherever you feel comfortable. When I don't have it resting on my armchair, I have it in between my legs or by the table, and even when I'm stretching during long sessions, I can still hold it with no issues. To use this the way I do, you will need the controller itself, which is very cheap, a Bluetooth dongle that will be used just for this device, so you have to make sure to get one, and 2 free pieces of software, one for installing the drivers to make the controller work in your computer and the other one to set the keys. For the driver installation, I will leave a link to a video in the description, as well as for the link to get the app I use to program the keys. As a disclaimer guys, I'm not a tech person. I also have not heard of any issues caused by installing this on your computer, so please go ahead if you want as part of your own decision. Now let me quickly show you how I use it in Blender when sculpting. In my stylus, I have the middle and right click buttons set. With enough controller, I can quickly resize my brush, pan around, and zoom in and out. When sculpting, I can press Ctrl to invert the brush or Shift to smooth. I can preview my remesh and apply it. I can also switch from mesh to mesh quickly. I can undo or redo. I have my tab key to access machine tools. I also have a dedicated button to my favorite sculpting add-on, the Sculpt Wheel. I have set as well a context menu from hard-ups to one of my keys. Apart from it, I'm also using this when doing retopo, since the JoyToKey app lets you have different profiles. And that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you have any questions about any of these devices, please let me know in the comments, as well as leaving your suggestions to improve this channel. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you soon.